Hello, my name is Mackenzie Mock, and I'll be doing UNE's Pathophysiology Week 9 short video presentation. Here's just an outline of what I'll be discussing. Before I get started, I just want to state that everything will be in my own words, and I found all my information from a class textbook, as well as Johns Hopkins Medicine website and the National Library of Medicine's website. I chose to do my presentation on digestive system, and I chose the malabsorption syndrome. And malabsorption syndrome focuses on your small intestine, and this is associated with the digestive system because your small intestine does most of the digestion of the food we eat. And in this case, when your small intestine fails to absorb these nutrients such as carbohydrates, fats, vitamins, etc., your body is unable to function correctly because it's not getting the nutrients it needs. Some clinical manifestations that we see commonly in this syndrome is abdominal pain and vomiting, loose and frequent smelly stool, diarrhea. We see increase in bruises, as well as weight loss and a loss of muscle fat. Now, there are some other syndromes in the digestive system that are just like malabsorption, but differ in some ways the way the organ effects or just its function in general. Now, I apologize if I say these syndromes wrong. They are new to me, so I'm learning. So the first one we're going to discuss is dysentery syndrome. That affects your colon. This has to do with poor hygiene when someone touches their food or water and contaminates that and then digests it. They are putting in fecal matter into their body, and there's a lot of problems with that. I won't go into detail since that's not the syndrome we're talking about, but that's what we see in the syndrome. Some common clinical manifestations we see is abdominal pain, fever, some similar manifestations we see in malabsorption. The second syndrome I'll be talking about is peritoneal syndrome, and that is the inflammation of your peritoneum. And this has to do, this is like a silk-like matter that aligns your abdomen, your inner abdomen, that is within your organs in your abdomen. And some common causes we see is the rupture of the peritoneum. Sorry if I say that wrong. That is within your abdomen wall. And some clinical manifestations we see in this is swelling, nausea, a low urine output. Similar clinical manifestations, like I said, with the malabsorption. The third syndrome is, I'm going to say this wrong, but I apologize, is ascites syndrome, and this is the buildup of fluid in your abdomen, which can lead to infection. And a common cause to this is cirrhosis, and this can be caused by if someone drinks a lot of alcohol, and there's some cancers that actually cause this too. And some clinical manifestations we see within this syndrome is shortness of breath, more abdominal pain, weight gain. Yeah. Now I'm going to go into 3 diseases that are associated with malabsorption. And the first one we're going to be discussing is Whipple's disease. And this is a rare bacterial infection that affects your joints and your digestive system. And the second disease is celiac disease. And that has to do with the digestion of nutrients, and like I said, it's kind of like your body cannot digest because it hurts, and your small intestine is not taking in the nutrients that it needs. And a common thing with celiac disease is that if someone is sensitive to gluten does cause a lot of digestive problems, and therefore it attacks tiny villi, and these tiny villi help grab the nutrients from your body and absorb them in your small intestine. But if that's not working properly, it's hard to get these nutrients. And the last disease I'll be talking about is cystic fibrosis. I think a lot of people know about this one, and this is an inherited disease. A lot of family members see this because, like I said, it's inherited. And this is kind of common. A lot of people do have this, and it's a life-threatening disease that is associated with the change in the electrolyte transport system, that your cells absorb too much sodium and water. Therefore, they don't have the capacity to hold all these two substances, and therefore cause a lot of problems, and mainly affects your pancreas of your GI system. But those are just some common diseases that we see in malabsorption. There's some other ones, but these are the 3 main ones that a lot of people tend to see in this syndrome. That's it. Thank you.